Coming up on this edition of Command Center Coach Commands with Ron Rivera. The Commanders went into Chicago, came out with a win over the Bears on Thursday Night Football. We'll talk with the head coach about what he saw in the victory. Brian Robinson found the end zone, and the Commanders' offense did enough to get out of the Windy City with a win. Coach and Logan Paulsen will break down some of the best plays. And the team will get a little more time to prepare for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. We'll talk with Coach about how he's gearing up for that one. It all starts right now.
But I was serious, guys, honestly. Coming back to some places that are really special, this is really kind of neat. But I'm telling you, let's make our place special.
Command Center Coach Commands with Ron Rivera is presented by your local Honda dealer. Get a great deal on a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle. Peace of mind with incredible benefits. Finding the Honda you really want just got easier with Honda certified pre-owned. Hurry, see your local Honda dealer today. And welcome into Coach Commands with Coach Ron Rivera off a win in Chicago. Logan Paulsen will be along in just a moment to break down some of the film with the coach, but we're back home after a late night in Chicago and a win. Probably a lot of relief to get the losing streak over with.
Most certainly. It's been a rough couple of weeks and, with some outside interference, but for the most part, I thought the players handled it very well. There were some opportunities that we did miss in the game, but there were enough opportunities that we took advantage of that gave us the opportunity to win that football game.
Red zone defense, 3 stops, not just in the red zone, but inside the 5.
Yes.
What an amazing night for the defense.
A very big night. One of the things that's been real interesting is you go back and look at something we struggled with last season, the third down defense, getting pressure on the quarterback, and then playing solid red zone defense. This year we're much better at. Probably the big thing right now that does seem to haunt us a little bit on the defense side has been the explosive plays that we've allowed.
You did get some stops late in the game. Looks like you were ready for them to throw out of the position. Got a couple of great stops at the end. Can you take us through the last couple of plays?
Well, yeah, in each situation, one thing that's been very good for us has been the pressure. Being able to get up after the quarterback, force the throw before he's ready, force the ball out before the routes have been completed, and that's big. But also our coverages, some of the coverages that we use, some of the calls that were made by Jack, I think were very timely. We brought pressure a couple of times when we needed it. A couple of times we just played pure coverage, and the way the players are using the match coverage that we're playing has been really good.
You knew the whole time Mooney wasn't in, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whole time. All right. Defense getting a lot of pressure here. 5 sacks 2 weeks in a row. Defensive line's really come into play here the last couple of weeks.
I think very much so. I think what they've begun to do is really get their feel for each other, understanding how to rush their lanes, discipline, how to cover for each other, as far as those things are concerned. And by that I mean is, if you got 4 guys rushing and they're getting a good push up in the inside, the only place the quarterback can go is outside. Or if you got the speed rushers getting outside, forcing the quarterback to step up, your inside guy's got to make plays. And then the other thing that has to happen is if a guy's going inside, the guy's got to go outside to protect him. And you see a lot more of that happening, which tells me our guys are becoming more and more comfortable with one another, and they're getting to understand how we want to attack quarterbacks.
Yeah, Fields dangerous as a runner. We saw that last night in Chicago as well. All right, other side of the ball, there were some struggles moving it, but let's start with the good stuff. Brian Robinson Jr. scores his first career touchdown. We know what happened to him at the end of the preseason. Really an amazing moment, I think, for him and the franchise.
Oh, very much so. Based on everything he went through for the last few months, and then being able to get back onto the football field after working hard to get there and then getting that opportunity and helping us win a game, that's huge. That really is. I thought there were a lot of good things that we did do on the offensive side. I thought when we had to, we moved the ball. One of the things that we got to do is we got to understand the mix of running backs. How do we want to use Brian? How do we want to use Antonio? And where does JD fit? Well, I thought in the second half we used him properly. Came out with Brian, we pounded up inside, then we brought AG in, and let Antonio go off tackle, get outside, create some positive yardage for us. Came back with JD in the passing game, ran a couple draws with him, swung the ball out to him, let him gain the yards. And when you see that mix of the running backs, you see what we can potentially do. And I think we really were able to see that for the first time, now that all 3 are running and running hot.
I think we'd be calling this a one-ball problem all along. Every week we're going to sit here and say, well, you forgot about this person or this person didn't find opportunity.
Well, one guy we also got to continue to be aware of is Terry. I mean, Terry's impact in the game is huge. People don't realize, that he caught a swing pass, turned into almost a 10-yard game. Caught with the bubble screen, picked up a big first down. Ran a slant, picked up a big first down. I mean, with his ability not just to go vertical, but his ability to catch the ball and turn into a runner, a physical runner, we've got to exploit that even more. And it's one of the things that I talked with the offense today about.
Did you see the crackback block by Carson Wentz
Yes.
on Roquan Smith? It's 2 weeks in a row he's gotten out and helped his running backs.
Well, that just tells you how badly the young man wants to win and how he'll do whatever it takes to help contribute to that win. I mean, that's real important. So for us, that's exciting. It really is, because he's telling his teammates, hey, guys, whatever it needs to be done, I'm going to do.
All right, I want to get a quick thought from you. It was a short week and a long week all in one. You had this turnaround, teams 1-4, you do get the win. There's a lot in the news cycle right now. How do you kind of how do you think through moving forward here at 2-4?
Well, I think first and foremost, the one thing we talk about, guys, more so is that let's keep our focus on the field. Let's keep our focus in our locker room and in our building. Whatever is going on the outside, that's extraneous as far as we're concerned. Our focus is playing football, and that was one of the emphasis yesterday. The other night in my press conference, it was one of the emphasis I talked to the players about in the locker room, is let's focus on what's important to us. Okay, I'm not talking about anybody, it's about us. What's important to us is preparing and getting ready to play football. So we'll try to maintain that focus, keep our poise, and be able to handle our situations as we get ready for the next team.
And off of a win, we'll get to Green Bay and what that means next week at FedEx Field. And as Coach heads over to Telestrator with Logan at the touchscreen, we'll talk about the Commanders' offense, the run-pass option, a big part of Scott Turner's game plan on Thursday night. Carson Wentz got Terry McLaurin and Cole Turner in the mix in the passing game. Brian Robinson led the rushing attack, scored his first touchdown of the regular season. Here's a look at the numbers as Washington's offense put up in the win. Total of 214 yards against the Bears on Thursday. It was the first game that we saw more rushing yards than passing yards so far this season. And of course, Robinson scored that first regular season touchdown. For more, let's head into the film room. It's presented by Mavenspire. Ransomware goes 3 and out with Mavenspire's Smart as a Service cybersecurity offerings. Learn more at mavenspire.com. Logan and Coach, take it away.
Bram, thanks so much, Coach. I'm really excited to talk some football with you today after a W, man. It's finally nice to get you here on a W. That's always super exciting. I really love this play design. This is the RPO. This is a nice big gain to McKissick here, and I really like the kind of what Scott Turner's trying to do here, right? You get 4 guys over here. Yep. You're matching this screen concept over here. That's always nice when you can be +1 to the screen. You hold another guy here with the read action in the backfield. Love that, and allows these guys inside here to be plus in the run game. Now you have those 5 guys for these 5 defenders, and you love that, and you love the matchups you get off of that.
You do, and it's exactly a very good design by Scotty. Why? Because, again, the emphasis, fake the pass, hold and freeze one side of it, but more importantly, keep the backside in from getting a chance to stop this play before it starts. And once JD gets into the line, now he just kind of picks his way, weaves it through, and there's the crease.
And you see how explosive he is. That's something you guys have talked about. You mentioned holding this backside player here, this gentleman right here. Always got to account for that guy when you're doing this runaway, and it's just this little subtle fake here in the backfield by Carson. This ball fake here hesitates him enough, right? And it gives him a step, right? He's able to get in the secondary, which you love. But also, Coach, a guy that you've played with, you've worked with a lot, I really love what Ted Larson's doing here.
Yes, Tyler does a really nice job. Again, he gets out, helps widen the crease, and then works his way up to the next level. What would have been nice, though, was been able to sort it out a little bit sooner. If Sadiq comes off, gets to the linebacker, now Tyler can go to the safety. But Sadiq spent a little bit of time on that block, okay, which did allow him to get to the linebacker as quickly as we would have liked him to.
But you like the Tyler's cleaning that up, and you love the burst through the hole, right? There's no time wasted there. Oh, and this play, Coach, I love this play because it's the game within the game, right? You guys are running an outside zone or a Wanda away from the tight end. The blocks are going this way. Everyone knows you're leaving this backside player unblocked here, and he thinks someone's coming back to block me, and that would be right because the tight end's going to come back, flash block this. The back would just kind of pick through here and find that soft spot, but you guys are playing chess, not checkers, and I really like that because you take his rules, this player's rules right here, and kind of bastardize them a little bit and put him in a weird spot.
Well, what happens is, again, anytime you got a guy that's going to think outside of what his responsibilities are, he's usually going to make the wrong decision. And what he did was he came down and he was getting ready to chase.
Yes.
Okay? And because he was getting ready to chase, he squeezes too much, and we really don't have to put a person on him.
He's unblocked guy to the front side of the run, because even though it's this little tricky backfield action, watch Gibson here, again, just kind of a little subtle, open the hip up, make them think they're running outside zone away, and then we're coming back the other way. The other thing I love about this, coach, is when you get a receiver blocking a linebacker, that's Roquan Smith there, and he's getting nice and physical. That's a nice sustained block there, and then the speed by Gibson to get in the secondary.
And the one thing about Antonio is he's got such deceptive speed. People don't understand that this young man, once he gets out in the field, he's a load. He's about 230 pounds, and when he's going, he really has the ability to pick up some quick yards.
Yeah, it is crazy to think of a man of that size running that way. It's fantastic. Okay, this is another fun one. Again, these run concepts are so well designed. Really love it. I love this little change of strength motion here. What I mean by that is usually defenses set the strength to the tight ends who are moving right now. And they set the strength. They've got the 3 technique over to the play side, or what they think is the strength here, right? And then they say, oh no, we shift the strength. Let's move these guys around. And then it's kind of chaos ensues. You get linebackers bumping into each other. You get these guys saying, what are we doing here, right? And it lightens their hands enough to make a nice push here.
Yes, and again, once you know they're light on their hands, you can get that push. And this is a really excellent job by Tyler. Again, getting off on the ball, getting into the 1 technique, right? And then again, nice job by Andrew. He gets a little bit of a stutter, sets himself to make sure there's nobody trying to squeak through on a run through, and then now you get the push. And watch the push by the 3 offensive linemen on the left side. And that's all we need, is just enough push to get it into the end zone.
And obviously it doesn't hurt having a big back like Brian to kind of finish that off. And again, this is sneaky right here by Norwell, and I think it's underrated, right? Because he's got really patient feet here. They're trying to get you on a run stunt here into this gap. They're going to bring the linebacker over the top. And Norwell, again, with the patient feet here, says, I don't have a ton of work. This guy's kind of shaded up really tight on Larson here. He's able to help Leno out and secure this running lane for a touchdown.
Yes, and again, it's one of those things that when you watch the way our guys work at things and understand just how important it is to run the ball.
Right.
Because again, when you got guys that are run blockers, it helps them eventually with their pass protection.
1,000%, because you get the play passes, you get those easy looks. Fantastic, Coach. Coach, stick around because we've got to talk defense next, but thanks for that insight on the offense.
For everything you need to know about the team, don't miss our flagship show, Command Center. Join Julie Donaldson, former tight end and film room expert Logan Paulsen, and Santana Moss every day for your Commanders fix, highlights, analysis, and inside access you won't get anywhere else. You can see every episode on our YouTube channel and on commanders.com, and you can also check us out on NBC Sports Washington weekdays at 5:30 and 10 p.m. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going back into the film room. Logan and Coach Rivera are going to take a look at the Commanders' defensive performance in the win over the Bears. And a little later, we'll talk with Coach Rivera about how he's preparing for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who are coming to FedEx Field next Sunday. You're watching Command Center, Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back. It's time for some healthy competition presented by Ortho Virginia, the official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at the numbers that Washington's defense put up in the win over the Bears. The Commanders allowed a total of 392 yards this past Thursday, but they did get a lot of pressure, 5 sacks, and had an interception, the first of his career, by defensive tackle John Allen. And it wasn't exactly the prettiest win, but the red zone defense came up huge. 3 stops inside the 5 that contributed to a enormous 12-7 win. Let's head back to the film room with Logan Paulsen and Coach breaking down the plays on D. It's the Rivera Review, presented by DC Prime. All stakes are not created equal.
Coach, super excited to talk about this defense today. Obviously, maybe not the cleanest effort, some big plays, things like that, but I thought these guys played with tremendous effort. And this is a play that really kind of exemplifies the game to me. Like, here's Casey Tuhill. Obviously, this is a tough down for you guys. This ends up being a 50-yard run. But, Casey gets knocked on the ground, and you think the play's over for him, right? No one would fault him. He's at the bottom of this pile here, a lot of people on the ground. And, a couple missed tackles here, but he sticks with it, finds a way, and he's the guy that is, I wish I had a mileage tracker, but he's running all the way there from back here to get it on this play. and save a touchdown potentially.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, but the play started, unfortunately. We had a chance to get a tackle for a loss.
Yep.
We missed the tackle, and the inertia of missing the tackle is what launches the runner across the field. The great thing is, as you pointed out, Casey gets up, and then he gets right into the middle of the tackle. Again, he's got to chase him about 45 yards, and I'm going to bet somewhere along the line his speed probably got up to 19, almost 20.
20 miles an hour.
Seriously.
He's a fast man.
Yes, he is. He's a good long strider, and once he gets his stride going, he can run. And again, all you need is a chance. All you need is a chance.
And I think that's the great point there, right? Is because that leads to the 4th and 1 where Cole makes the play. And who knows what happens if he gets a little bit closer to the end zone there, right? Just giving you a chance. I love that you brought that out. And again, here's another effort play. To me, they're going to run kind of a mesh concept. You guys run mesh all the time. And again, you get crossers, you get people, you get picks, and it's really hard to match this, right? But I look at this and I say, everybody's with somebody, right? There's guys all paired up. You know who's got who. Even back here, guys are paired up. Tight window throws. We mentioned how Fields does not see the field overly well, and it leads to a great opportunity for a tremendous pass rusher, a guy who's getting hot at the right time, Montez, to get a pressure here.
Absolutely, and again, pass rushing is really about effort.
Right.
It's either you win off the snap or you got tremendous effort that gives you a chance to make it. He wins off the snap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he misses the initial sack, but because of his effort, because of the effort of his teammates, he gets back into the play and gets the sack.
And I love that, Coach, because again, James deserves some credit here too. He's getting chipped here on the front side, and he's the guy who says, maybe I can get in on this and make a little play here for my guy. And that is great teamwork. That's guys working together. And you mentioned Montez just playing the down throughout, and he gets rewarded for that effort. But the guys in the back end deserve a ton of credit too.
Absolutely, and that's team football. That's when the coverage is married to the rush.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, maybe to me, the most exciting play of the game, like listening to Bram Weinstein call this on the radio, I was sweating in my seat. But you get a little return here by Mooney, right? In a one-on-one situation for the game against a young man in Benjamin St-Juste who's playing good football at the moment. But this is a tough matchup because that's a good receiver. And this is where everybody in the stadium knows the ball is going. You don't know what route's coming. I love how Benjamin is so deliberate here. You see his length. You see his foot speed. And I like that he doesn't look for the football here, Coach.
Absolutely. At this point, the key, though, is that he fights it to the ground.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
And again, you don't look back when you're in man coverage. You focus in on your man, only your man. And as your guy goes to make a play, you get involved in on the play. And because he hit the guy the way he hit him, the ball ends up on the other side of the cone as opposed into the end zone.
I had a coach once tell me, Dan Quinn, who is the coach for defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, he said late wins are great wins because they save things like this, right? With the pass interference stuff, like he could easily say, oh man, he's got me beat. But playing through the ball, getting the ball loose, and again, it was, Coach, it was that close to being a touchdown, and to see that kind of effort from all those guys, that's got to mean something in this win.
It does, because again, the prior week, we took a tough one on the goal line and didn't get in. Here's an opportunity for us to make up for it. The guys did. They came through. And again, that's how you win football games, is that, like you said, you play to the end.
And is this something you can build on moving forward?
Oh, most certainly. It doesn't matter, what the final score is. It doesn't matter what the stats are. What matters is you won and the way you won. You won fighting and playing as a unit. Special teams came up big for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Got a fumble recovery inside the red zone, and we were able to convert it for points.
Coach, I'm really excited. Hope this leads to way more wins. Always a pleasure talking football with you. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
On game days, do not miss Command Center. Game Day Live, the official pregame show of the Washington Commanders. We're live on the air starting 2 hours before kickoff. That'll be 11 a.m. next Sunday, the 23rd, for our matchup with the Green Bay Packers. You can watch on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. And after the game, don't miss Command Center postgame live for reaction, analysis, and interviews with head coach Ron Rivera, quarterback Carson Wentz. And you can also find that on YouTube. Take command of your game days. We're not done yet. When we come back, Coach Rivera and I are going to talk the Packers and Aaron Rodgers coming to town. That's next on Command Center. Coach Commands with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back. You can still get your Command the Cure t-shirt to help fight against breast cancer. They are $30 each, with all net proceeds going to help support breast cancer patients and research. Head to commanders.com/BCA shirt to get yours. Bram Weinstein here with Coach Rivera. We are reliving some history here on Coach Commands. It's time for a winning legacy presented by the Maryland Lottery. Play fast, win fast with the new Fast Play games from the Maryland Lottery. Coming off the win over the Bears, let's look back to when Coach got his first starting nod in Chicago. How about this? October 26, 1986, Ron Rivera makes a start at middle linebacker for Mike Singletary between Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall. Defense held Detroit to 214 yards. You remember your debut starting there?
I do. You know, it was kind of a great opportunity. Detroit at the time was the leading rushing team in the NFC Central back in the day, and it was actually a good day for me. I led the team in tackles and got recognized by Coach Dicka, and he gave me a game ball.
I was surprised to learn you'd never won there as a coach up to this point. Did you know you were getting the game ball last night?
No, I had no idea. It was actually kind of a neat deal from the players. I really appreciated that.
And what did you think about going back and taking on the Bears? Does it harken up any real memories for you?
It really did. It was funny because Stephanie and I talked about this. We were laughing because when we got onto the elevator at the hotel, it was elevator number 34. When we went to Portillo's and ordered lunch, our ticket was number 58. And when I watched the defensive plays today, it was a total of 59 plays. So 34 for Walter Payton, 58 for Wilbur Marshall. He and I were drafted together in the 1984 draft. And 59, obviously, my own number.
You got any numerology to beat the Packers this week?
Yeah, hopefully we can get to their quarterback.
Yeah. You got a chance to play Aaron Rodgers a year ago, close call up at Lambeau Field. So what do you take from that meeting from a year ago as you try to get a better result against them this coming weekend?
Well, I think the biggest thing, more so than anything else for us as far as that's concerned, is just understanding what we did, how we did it, and how we can try to approach it again this year. Obviously, some things are different. We're going to look at some things. His offensive line is getting healthier and healthier. He's got some new pieces to his offense. And he's using other guys. So we've got to be aware of those things as we start preparing for them.
I know you don't think about them this way because of him, but their rush offense has been very, very good last year into this year. So the defense will be tested again on the run game.
And it'll be good for us because, again, one thing that we have done is when we've had to hunker down, we've done a pretty good job.
All right, last thing. How about the offense? I know you'd like to see a little more production as you think about this long week getting ready. What would you like to see change?
Well, I think the biggest thing is getting a better feel for how to utilize all our running backs. And then at the same time, able to spread the ball out to our five playmakers. It's one of the things that you talked about. There's only one ball. It's a tough problem, but we've got to find the best way to exploit that.
All right, Coach, enjoy the long weekend. Get ready to see the Packers at FedEx Field next week. And that'll do it for Coach Commands for Ron Rivera. I'm Bram Weinstein in for Julie Donaldson. We'll see you next time.